Okay, and welcome to my my first submission for the Keen Software House NVIDIA competition, Category 1 level design. This is a very basic mock-up of what could potentially be a sort of early access beginner type mission. The scenario being that we've been deployed in a small little scout ship with a view to infiltrating an opposing faction's facility with an overall goal of nicking a prototype engine, basically. Not quite as clear cut as it may seem, as the title and the intro may suggest. So what I'll quickly do is whiz you through what I've arbitrarily sort of placed as my start and end position here. I mean, I don't know how the future may look, but I've just put like a little bog standard gate there. So I'm going to quickly whiz over to the only asteroid at the moment. I did flirt with the idea of placing additional asteroids just to beef it up a little bit, but because I'm working on the mechanics at the moment as opposed to the actual gameplay and the aesthetics, kind of figured I'd keep it as simple as I can so that even people with lower end machines shouldn't have too much of a problem with it. Now then, in mission we clearly can't fly around here because, as you can see, there's quite a fierce looking defence situated here. So just for clarity, I'll just pop those off and take you on a quick tour. So the facility is here. Again, just a general mock-up. Nothing's actually really functioning too much in terms of production, but this is essentially the engine testing facility, where they kind of putting the engines together, as you can see, and testing them on the old platform there. We have a crane there that does actually work, fully functional. View is kind of limited, so I definitely need to maybe work on that at some point. But again, we're looking at a mock-up. Conveniently located transport, kind of gives you a little bit of a clue there. Potentially we have a little bit of extra assistance perhaps in the hangar bay there. So again, we're not looking at a frontal assault, so what we would do in our little tiny lightly armoured craft is we would avoid going there like the plague, and instead we are looking at popping around the back here out of sight, so obviously we're not likely to get blown away. And from here, you'd sort of pop ship sort of behind in their blind spot, so to speak. And then you got to think to yourself, right, how do I get that engine? I can't go around the front because I'll just get killed. There must be another way in there somewhere. Now, the reason I chose this particular asteroid is simply because it has multiple entry points, and for me it was an absolute godsend because I happened to find a nice little chamber inside that allowed me to formulate this mission. So I'm going to pop ourselves in there, and it is fair to say it's a somewhat of a rabbit warren. Now, there's no guarantee even I'm going to find the right sort of place I need to be. Oh yes, I have found it first time, that's a result. But obviously, new players to the mission could end up exploring and going out at dead ends, and it could get a little bit frustrating, I guess. But as I say, being the level designer, I kind of know where things are. It's going to be very embarrassing at this point if I get lost, but I'm pretty sure I'm on the right track. Okay, oh look, here we are. We have a little hidden base, and this is literally a tiny little control room sort of production facility, or should I say refining facility, that essentially is going to be set up. This is where they get the raw materials to create all their bits and bobs, engineering and so on. So we'll be looking at gaining entry, hacking through the doors. I envisage that there will be no block removal, there will be no mining of any kind. I can always put that down to seismic sensors or mass detection systems that will alert the enemy to any potential break-in. Hacking obviously is still an option, so we would only be looking at hacking, getting into the facility. But even when you're hacked into it, obviously with no defences here to overcome, you've got your cameras floating around to give you a quick heads up. If looking from here, obviously when being there should give the fact that there's a camera there. Sorry, a turret, I beg your pardon. But if not, you've got the camera there that you can always control from here. Just have a quick peeky. Now, because turrets are such a minor piece of mass, I kind of did a bit of a workaround. You can get away with shooting those, I guess. Just to give yourself a bit of a chance there. And away we go. And again, there's nothing really too much of use here beyond the terminal over the back there. And this is really where the mainstay of the mission comes into play. So we access our console as we do. Assuming we've hacked it, we now have access to the freighter drone that we saw on the platform at the beginning, and as the name suggests, a loading skiff drone. So we'll be looking at controlling that, which we have. I'm going to press number 1 because I've already installed a camera. So here we are now, remotely controlling the drone. And essentially this is, pretty much what makes up the gameplay. Now we're virtually here, we're not physically here. So obviously the enemy defences are going to be fooled. I'm not sure why the physics are doing this, but it does keep sending the skiff on a little bit of a drift. I'm not sure why. It does make controlling the ship a little bit more complicated. Nothing too challenging at this point. So okay, again we are telepresence, so therefore we are not going to get shot down, because as far as the enemy are concerned, we're probably pre-programmed to do a job that we need to do. And again, you can see the drift there. I'm not sure if it's the design of my ship. I can't really do an external view of it, but suffice it to say it's nothing too grand. Again, this is just a mock-up. So off we go. We can see we've got our little engine there, so let's go and pinch that. And contact. Okay, now obviously with the engine we do expect that there's going to be a little bit of an issue there. And again, with no external view, we've got to be pretty aware of your surroundings. So there's our... Oh dear me, this is tricky to control, all my days. Okay, let's just give it a second to settle down. We'll use this natural drift there to bring us around. Okay, so that's where we are, and that's where we need to load. So let's just very gently. I mean, this is actually kind of fun. It's part and parcel of the challenge, really, is to control this skiff that's carrying quite a heavy engine. You see the enemy would have used their crane, and incidentally, the crane does have cameras, so theoretically, you can telepresence the crane. But to be honest, I do find this ironically a lot easier than trying to control the crane, because there is a limited view. Oh my stars, this is really wildly out of control. I mean, I guess this is only a mock-up. I have played this game over 800 hours. I absolutely adore it, and I've played this walkthrough so many times, and this seems to be the only time I'm really struggling with it. And anybody with a cute hearing will actually hear my girlfriend snoring away in the background. I'm sorry about that, it really can't be helped. She's going to really be embarrassed when I tell her that I've popped her onto YouTube. Bless her. She's got work in the morning. Oh my stars, why can't I not control this ship? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Let's extend the pistons to see if that gives me any more stability. I very much doubt it, but we'll see. again, the only thing that really gives us any depth on this is the shadow. There we go. We seem to be... Oh, don't embarrass me, don't embarrass me. Come on, I can't believe I can't even steer a simple ship. But the mass of this engine is actually quite formidable. But anyway, bush, lovely. So now we will... Oh, okay. I'm going to try and disengage. There we go. Disengage the grippers there, and essentially we can discard the little skiff now. So brilliant. We loaded up the vehicle. Now what we need to do, get back to our freighter drone. We need to remotely control this one now. Again, press number 1 to access the camera. We need to undock the landing gear. I haven't got a conventional landing gear, so I've had to manually do that. Let's take a little peek at the skiff while we're at it. There we go. That was a little loading skiff that we put together. But again, we are in telepresence, so the enemy are unaware that we are actually here. So now we've got the goods. Let's go and make a getaway. But of course, being acutely aware that we are in telepresence, we can't forget one very valuable thing, and that's your good self. Because we've only got a limited range on this ship. If you go out of range, that's it. Mission failed. So you have to stay there, exit the console, make your getaway. Now again, because we are completely out of the way of the enemy's main base and the guns, you know, they have no idea we're here. We are skulking around very quietly and so on. And around here is where the gravity exits. Ooh, there we go. And I've only taken the HUD off just simply to you know, clarify what we're doing here. And again, you face the challenge of getting out of here, because some of these exits do actually lead out to the main base, but you know, just for the sake of speed, I know my way out. And out we are, and we shouldn't be too far away from where we left our ships. Now I'm going to quickly HUD on this one, just simply because I need to see where I am. There we go, there's the transport that we borrowed. Now, the little scout ship there is clearly expendable. We've gotten the goods that we wanted to get. So we enter back in and we make our little getaway. And because again we're on the dark side, or the light side, or the blind side of the asteroid, we can scoot out of there undetected. And essentially that is the end of the mission. Now, mechanics and additional gameplay would include potentially putting turrets, sensor turrets on. I have a friend of mine, Omega Hunter. He's actually worked on some pretty epic looking, we've affectionately called them clam turrets, but essentially they open up when you get near, and using some of the coding that we found, it basically allows the sensors to use the gyros and actually turn the turrets toward you, which is again pretty epic. But I'll perhaps do that in another video. And of course we've made our getaway and away we go. So there you go, that's my mission 1 submission. Thanks for your time for watching, and any feedback would be gratefully appreciated, both good and bad. I'm a big fella, and well, at least in so much as personality anyway, and you know, feedback only makes us better and do a better job. So thanks for watching, and catch up with you soon. Bye bye now.